Most people think their backyard is safe, but these 3 true stories prove something terrifying. Sometimes the scariest person near your house is already standing in your yard. Story 1. The Fingers in the Fence. Jake lived in a quiet neighborhood. Nothing ever happened there. One night around 10 p.m., he stepped into his backyard to take out the trash. That's when he heard it, a slow scratching sound coming from the fence. At first, he thought it was a raccoon, but the sound kept repeating, scratch, scratch, scratch. Jake turned on the porch light. The sound stopped instantly. He looked toward the wooden fence separating his yard from the empty lot behind it, and that's when he saw something that made his stomach drop. 2 fingers slowly pushing through a crack in the fence. Someone was standing on the other side, not moving, just feeling around the wood, like they were trying to find a way through. Jake quietly backed toward the house and locked the door. The next morning, he walked around the block to check the other side of the fence. The empty lot wasn't empty. Someone had been sleeping there. There were blankets, cigarette butts, and dozens of footprints leading directly toward his fence. Story 2. The Backyard Camera. Sarah installed a motion camera in her backyard after hearing strange noises at night. For weeks, the camera recorded nothing. Until one morning, her phone buzzed with a notification. Motion detected, 2:43 a.m. She opened the footage and immediately felt chills. The camera showed someone standing at the far edge of her yard, completely still, just staring at the house. Seconds passed, then minutes. The person didn't move. For nearly 6 minutes, they stood there in complete silence, watching. Finally, the figure slowly turned and walked into the trees behind the yard. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same place, standing there, watching the house. Sarah eventually called the police. When officers searched the woods behind her fence, they found a narrow path leading to an old abandoned shed. Inside were blankets, food wrappers, and several photos of Sarah's house. Story 3. Something under the deck. Mark had just moved into an old house with a large wooden deck in the backyard. A few weeks later, he started hearing strange noises at night, knocking sounds, coming from under the deck. At first, he assumed it was an animal, maybe a raccoon. But one night, the sound changed. The knocking turned into whispering. Mark grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. The backyard was completely silent. Slowly, he crouched down and pointed the light under the deck. For a moment, he saw nothing. Then something moved. A pair of eyes stared back at him. Human eyes. Someone had been hiding under his deck. Mark ran back inside and called the police. When officers arrived, they found a man living under the structure. He had food, blankets, and a notebook. Inside the notebook were dates and notes about when Mark left the house and when he came home. And the most disturbing part about these stories, they didn't happen in dark forests or abandoned buildings. They happened in someone's backyard, right outside their home. So tonight, before you go to bed, you might want to check your backyard one more time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for scary stories of real-life past events.